So, hi friends, this is G Monish from English with Technical Monish. And in today's class, we are going to see the daily Hindu editorial of August 2nd. So, we'll be seeing the live of August 2nd editorial analysis. So, moving on to the first word of the vocabulary, the word we have on the screen is humming. The word on the screen we have is humming. Humming is an adjective, and humming means humming is an adjective, and humming means churaku, churukuga or labadayakanga, something which is profitable, which is intelligent. So, active and busy with activity, something which is busy and active with some kind of activity is called as humming. So, synonyms of humming are bustling, teeming. Bustling and teeming are some of the synonyms for humming. Antonyms are stagnant and inert. Stagnant and inert means being dull, calm, without any further improvement is stagnant. Example, core businesses are still humming with profit, helping tech giants absorb AI spending shocks. So, core businesses are humming, are active with profit, helping tech giants absorb AI spending shocks. Then, next word on the screen we have slumped. The next word we have is slumped. Slumped is a verb, and slumped means కుంగిపోయింది. Slumped means కుంగిపోయింది. Then dropped or declined suddenly is called as slumped. Dropped or declined suddenly is called as slumped. And synonyms of slumped are plummeted and dwindled. Plummeted and dwindled are synonyms for slumped. Then antonyms are rebounded, ascended. Rebounded and ascended are antonyms for slumped. Example, while AI budgets surged, hardware revenue slumped for the third consecutive quarter. So, when AI budgets have raised, hardware revenue also declined for the third consecutive quarter. So, for the last 3 quarters, the revenue of the hardware has been declined or dropped. And next word we have is outlays. The word we have is outlays. Outlays is a noun, and outlays mean ఖర్చులు, expenses. So, amount of money spent can be termed as outlays. Amount of money spent can be termed as outlays. And coming to the synonyms, we have expenditures and disbursements. Expenditures and disbursement are the synonyms for outlays. That means something which has been spent. And antonyms are proceeds and earnings. Proceeds and earnings are the antonyms for outlays. So outlays means spending the money, and antonyms of opposite are getting money, like earnings. Example, record outlays in AI infrastructure are being tolerated due to stable legacy income. So, record outlay infrastructure are being tolerated, are being controlled due to the stable legacy income. And the next word we have is capex. The next word we have is capex, and capex is a noun. Capex means puji vyayam. So, capex means puji vyayam. Capital expenditure for a fixed assets. Capital expenditure for fixed assets is capex. Synonyms are infrastructural spending. Infrastructural spending can be called as capex. Antonyms, operating cost, revenue expenses, which is related to expense is called as antonym. Then moving on to the next sentence, the surge in the capex for AI chips could strain balance sheets if return of investment lags. So the surge in capex for balance, if ROI, in the sense return on investment, lags. And the next word we have is elevated. The next word on the screen is elevated. Elevated is an adjective, and elevated stands for పైకెత్తబడిన. Elevated stands for పైకెత్తబడిన. Raised or increased in level is called as elevated. Raised or increased in level is elevated. Synonyms are augmented, intensified. Augmented and intensified also suggest that something has been elevated or kept at the top. Antonyms are diminished, deflated. Diminished and deflated are antonyms, which means keeping at a lower level. Keeping at a lower level. Example: elevated expenses on AI have become the new normal in Q2 financials. So the elevated expenses on AI have turned to the new normal in Q2 quarter 2 financials. And the next word we have on the screen is accursed, acute. The next word we have is acute, which is a verb. Acute is a verb which means వృద్ధి చెందిన, something which has got old. Acute means వృద్ధి చెందిన. Accumulated or gathered over time. Accumulated or gathered over time is called as accrued. Synonyms are amassed, aggregated. Amassed and aggregated are the synonyms for accumulating over time. And antonyms we have dissipated, eroded. Dissipated and eroded are the antonyms for accrued. Then example we have the benefits accrued from the core operations allowed aggressive AI spending. So benefits accrued from the core operations has allowed aggressive AI spendings. And the next word we have is massive. Massive is an adjective, and massive means bhari. Massive means bhari. So moving on to the next word, massive. Massive is an adjective which means bhari, and exceptionally large or extensive. Exceptionally large or extensive is massive. So synonyms are gargantuan and colossal. Gargantuan and colossal are the synonyms for massive, which means exceptionally large. Antonyms are modest, minute, and trivial. Then example: a massive hike in AI's funding was cushioned by steady earnings from legacy systems. So the massive hike in AI funding was supported by steady earnings from the legacy systems. And the next we have yielded. The next word is yielded. Yielded is a verb. So yielded means దిగుబడి వచ్చింది. Yielded means దిగుబడి వచ్చింది. Give in or surrender to pressure or force. Give in or surrender to pressure or force is called as yielded. Synonyms are capitulated and succumbed. Capitulated and succumbed. And antonyms are resisted, withstood. Antonyms are resisted and withstood. Example: Japan yielded to Washington's tariff threats, fearing exclusion from key markets. Japan yielded Washington's tariff threats, fearing exclusion from key markets. And Next we have pinnacle. The word we have pinnacle is a noun, and pinnacle Parakashta Sikaram. Parakashta or Sikaram. The highest or most successful point. The highest or most successful point is called as pinnacle or peak. Synonyms are zenith, acme, and peak. And coming to the antonyms, we have nadir, rock bottom. Nadir and rock bottom. And coming to the examples, we have once at the pinnacle of regional trade, Asian economies now face rising dependency on the US. Once at the pinnacle of regional trade, now the Asian economies are now facing dependency on the United States. Next word we have is archipelago. The next word we have is archipelago, and archipelago is a noun. Archipelago means Dwapa Samuham. Dwapa Samuham. A group or chain of islands is called as archipelago. Synonyms are island cluster, insular chain. Island cluster, insular chain are also same of having the group islands. Antonyms are mainland, continent. Antonyms are mainland and continent. The Pacific archipelago nations were especially vulnerable to the shift in the US trade policy. The Pacific archipelago nations were especially vulnerable to the shift in the US policy. Vulnerable means rude. So we have successfully completed the one word substitutions. And now moving on to the next part, one word substitutions. We have rancid. We have the word rancid. Rancid means having a strong unpleasant smell or taste due to being old or stale. Having a strong unpleasant smell or taste being due to the state of being old or stale. The next word we have is lousy. The next word lousy, and lousy means very poor or bad in quality. Lousy means very poor or bad in quality. And now moving on to the next word we have litigant. The next word we have is litigant. And litigant means a person involved in the lawsuit. A person involved in the lawsuit is called as litigant. And the final one word substitution, reverent. Reverent is a person showing deep respect or admiration. So showing deep respect or admiration is called as reverent. Now moving on to the idioms and phrases. The first idiom we have go out of one's way. Go out of one's way. It means to make a special effort to do something. To make a special effort to do something is called as going out of one's way. Next, fit like a glove. Fit like a glove idiom means to fit perfectly or be exactly right in size or suitability. So generally for hands, gloves are to be in the perfect size, not being big or not being small. So fit like a glove means fit perfectly. Next idiom, cat nap. Cat nap means a short light sleep. A short light sleep can be termed as cat nap. Next we have in the running. In the running. It means having a chance to win or succeed in a competition. Having a chance to win or succeed in a competition means in the running. The final idiom we have beat about the bush. Beat about the bush implies to avoid talking directly about the main topic. To avoid talking directly about the main topic and talking about some random stories instead of coming to the point is beating around the bush. So let us see some of the previously asked questions related to today's class. IBPS PO 2022. The factory floor was humming with activity. the factory floor was humming with activity. And what does the humming mean in this context? So, humming means active and busy. Humming in the sense active and busy. Now, SSC CGL 2020, after years of hard work, she reached the pinnacle of her career. So, what does the pinnacle mean? The word pinnacle means highest point. Pinnacle means highest point. Now, next question, SSC CHSL 2021. One who is involved in legal case. One who is involved in legal case is called as litigant. One who is involved in legal case is called as litigant. And IBPS clerk 2019 idiom, go out of one's way. Go out of one's way. She really went out of her way to make me feel welcome. So what does go out of one's way mean? So go out of one's way means making special efforts. Making special efforts is going out of one's way. So that's it all for today's class. Hope you enjoyed the session. If you did enjoy the session, make sure to like the video and share the channel with your friends who is preparing for the same competitive exams. And also don't forget to join the Telegram channel English with Technical Monish for this class PDF along with some daily quiz uploaded over there. And I hope you all have applied for IBPS clerk because we have 10,000 plus notifications and English will be your unfair advantage. So make sure to apply for that IBPS clerk which is having 10,000 plus notifications and spend daily 20 minutes with me so that you will be mastering your vocabulary. See you guys in tomorrow's class. Till then, keep practicing and studying. Till then, goodbye.